Hello, and so we're going to take a look through my Whitebox. The name of this Whitebox and this game is Human Extinction. So the main aim of the game is you play at the minute with the basic gun asset to fire elemental projectiles. The monsters that you face are elemental as well, and they take damage. More damage based dependent on what projectile you use. So water deals more damage to fire, etc. Fire deals more damage to grass, and grass deals more damage to water. The enemies do hurt me. I just nullified their damage so that I can show this test off properly and show that they can be defeated. Obviously, these are destructible walls. They do need to be looked at so that we can actually progress through them and to stop it so that the player can simply just run into them and destroy them. As well as this, there is also a puzzle mechanic with the key. The key is spawned here. This key, essentially, when you pick it up, allows you to progress through the level and go through this door here. Obviously, I set up a little test when I first implemented it just to make sure it would work. It checks if you were to walk into the door. It checks to see if you have any keys. If you don't have any keys, it tells you don't have enough keys and that you need to find one. You find one, you walk to the door, and then the door then takes you to the boss level. The boss level currently isn't set up. So just to give a bit of an overview of the kind of things that we're working with. So obviously there's the different damage multipliers. So the enemy blueprint. Nope, that's the enemy projectile. Never mind. Let's have a look in the water projectile. Yeah, so we can see here. Obviously this just sets up the basic projectile of how it works. It simulates physics and actually launches the projectile. And then we also set 3 instances of damage. So we have what damage it does to fire, what damage it does to water, what damage it does to earth. So obviously each one has a base set. So the fire damage base is 20. All of the base damages are 20, but it's then the resistances that are altered. So the fire resistance has a 2+, the water resistance has a 1+, and the earth resistance has a 0.5, so that we can alter the damage so that water against fire does 60 damage, water against water does 20. Water against fire does 40, water against water does 20, and water against earth does 10. As a base, the enemy projectile that hits you does 20 damage. I am looking at how I could possibly affect this so that you could have special enemies that can deal slightly more damage than others. As for the first person character blueprint, obviously this is where we take into account how much damage the player is taking. At the minute, obviously, as you can see, I think the enemy damage is set to nothing, which is seen here. As well as this, we have also set up a way in which you can cycle through the different types of projectiles. So obviously this was just the normal spawn projectile, and I've simply just added in a compare int. So we take a basic shot type of 1 and we compare it with 2. If it's less than 2, it spawns the water projectile. If it equals 2, it spawns the fire projectile. And if it's more than 2, it spawns the earth projectile. This is altered down here just by simply pressing 1 would add and 2 would subtract, so you can switch between the projectiles. And lastly, just so we can get an understanding of the enemies as well. So this is how the AI moves towards you, and also spawns projectiles that deal damage to you. So obviously we have we have an offset. We have where we want it to spawn and its rotation. It makes all the transform and then spawns the enemy projectile, which is aimed towards me. This will only ever happen upon the enemy actually seeing the player, using the pawn sensing node, which can be seen here. So obviously his cone of vision. As soon as the player steps into that, the AI would first start to move towards the player and then begin to shoot at it. As for the damage, obviously the damage, once again, we just have to send in 3 calculations so it can check to see if it's either being hit by water, fire, or earth projectile. If it's hit by any of those 3, then it progresses through with the fire damage for each, and deals the damage accordingly. Lastly, obviously, is the health bars that you saw above the enemies, which can also be seen in the viewport, I think. Yep, there they are, the health remaining. So essentially this works off of a simple event tick. So Unreal has stopped working. Essentially, all that allows me to do is cast it to the progress bar, where I set the progress bar's like health, and then obviously every time that the player takes damage, it then alters the progress bar accordingly. So that's everything so far. I do need to add in, obviously, the custom hands and like custom animations for that, as well as the custom AI. Obviously, all of these assets are currently being produced, alongside obviously all of the assets that will feature in the game as well. So that's everything. Thanks for watching.